Hey y'all, I'm Aeon.
And I'm the Lioness.
And you're listening to Box number 512 podcast.
Grown Black Trans Woman Talk. Changing your world one conversation at a time.
The show begins now. Welcome to part 2 of this episode from Box number 512 podcast, Grown Black Trans Woman Talk. I am your co-host, Aeon.
And I'm the Lioness.
So, sis, let's get into our last two topics. Do you want to talk about Tyler first, or do you want to talk about the anti-transness on these Black web reality shows first?
I want to start with Tyler because I don't want to end on Tyler.
Well, you watched the video, so I think you will be able. I'm gonna be honest. I saw the headline of the video, and I was able to put 2 and 2 together. And I was very much, I can't watch this. Like, I started crying. I started crying, bitch, and I didn't even need to watch the video because I could just. Yeah, I couldn't even watch the video, and I was begging people like, please stop sharing this video, Miss Thing, because it's so triggering because we have all been that little boy, bitch. We've all been that little boy.
Can I tell you this? I saw the video on accident. And I love that you said stop sharing it because people don't realize in their effort to sometimes alert, you're perpetuating. You can actually perpetuate trauma on people that is a real lived experience because somebody put up something like, man, this shit make me want to cry. I can't believe this shit. Da 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 da. And so then people were responding. So it was like one of those vague sub tweets kind of thing where somebody put up something really vague about how they were upset. And then all of their friends were like, girl, you all right? What's going on? Girl, what's going on? You know, da 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 da. And then there was just a video. So I didn't have the luxury of having like a headline or, you know, anything that said, this is a boy getting beat up. I just scrolled in the thread real fast and was like, oh, girl, what's she talking about? And maybe that's my fault for trying to catch the tea. But bitch, I was like, oh, what's she talking about? And I scrolled and I saw a video and I clicked on it. So I didn't even have that warning that Brianna had by knowing what the fuck I was clicking. So bitch, I clicked this video and there's this little boy in a red shirt and his hair. First thing I noticed, his hair. I'm like, what's going on with his hair? So his hairline was cut. All this was cut off. And it was like the Jefferson haircut. And he's like looking down, his lips poked out, and he just looked so sad. And then you see in the video, there's like a man standing next to him, kind of like to his left. And then there's a couple of men around him this way. So you can see him in the camera, but you see the men on this side and like this man kind of right here. And there's someone where the camera is, and you hear a woman's voice. Very quickly, I'm able to pick up the woman and the man alone on this side of him are his mom and dad. I don't know who these people are, but the dad is like, ain't no son of mine, we're gonna do that in this house. Ain't nobody no son of mine gonna be no faggot. And he's using those words, all of the toxic language, all of that. And as he's saying it, he slapped the boy. And I'm so jarred by it. I'm like, oh, it took my breath away. I was like, oh, he hit him on camera. Oh my God. And then the mom was like, yeah. And you hear her egging him on. And I think there maybe is a total of 4 hits in the video, each progressively harder because they're saying, say it again. Say it again. And the little boy goes, I'm gay. And they hit him again. And they're trying, and it was the most traumatizing thing that I have seen in a very long time because I resonate so much with that experience. And, you know, Father's Day just passed and everything is great with my family now. And I hate to be the girl that's painting a narrative that people can't evolve or whatever. But I could relate to being that little boy in that moment. And all you want to do is fucking live. And these people are trying to beat something out of you that you can't even control about yourself. And the fact that his family, his mama, his daddy, the people around him or thought that this abuse would change him. They thought that this abuse would break him, really, because that's what they were trying to do. Break that willpower that made him defiantly say, I'm gay. Shout out to Tyler. Because I didn't have that courage. I was getting beat like that and didn't have the audacity to say that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that. I didn't have that in me. But these kids nowadays have an awareness and the confidence in their awareness that even in the face of mortal danger, they can speak their truth. And him having the words to speak his truth, because I don't know if I had the words at that age, because the child appears to be 6 or 7 or somewhere in there, like early elementary school. I didn't have the language or the confidence to be able to be able to do that, but I don't know if I would have. So that's why I said shout out to Tyler, because that is powerful. But I want parents to know you never get over it. You never get over it. I can love you. We can be cool. We can have all the apologies happen in the world. But when the people that brought you in this world, the one place in your life you're told you're supposed to be able to be safe is at your home. And when your home is just as violent and hateful and evil as the streets, when you go in the streets and get called a faggot and come home and your daddy do it too, it never hits the same after that. It never does. And I know that Tyler will need years of therapy because I've been Tyler. I know that Tyler will need a wonderful extended family, people that will love him regardless, because those people are trash and they don't deserve that child. And I hope that I hope that someone that is listening or someone that may be in a situation where you have been around a child and you see that kind of abuse happening, you fucking report it. Because what was interesting also was these people that were just kind of bystanders, observing, almost creating an intimidating environment for this young man to feel humiliated, because they also felt like they wanted to be a part of this moment. Fuck all them grown-ups. But if you are a grown-up listening to this phone call, particularly if you are a cis-het person, I encourage you to use your privilege in moments like that to beat a motherfucker ass if you have to. Because there are times where I wish that there was a grown-up or somebody around me, and that's just not necessarily my direct family even. There are times where I've been in public and I have been going through things as a child, and there were grown men that allowed me to get physically abused and beat up and get my face punched in because they wanted the faggot to get a lesson too. And I were times where I was abused and went and told people with bloody lips, and they told me, stop, toughen the fuck up. Why you always telling on somebody? Stop snitching. Stop trying to. That's why you got beat up now. I've been told that. I was the child that got beat up and then got beat up for getting beat up. And I want y'all to know that you never get over that shit. And I want to pray and I want to lift up Tyler now and all the children out there now that are still having to go through this toxic shit perpetuated by our people. Another point in this before I give it to you, Brianna, is Black people. We have to stop enacting that slave, I'm gonna beat you into submission mentality out of raising our children. We have to take that out of raising our children, because a lot of y'all are not even aware of the generational evil that of corporal punishment and how we use it to humiliate our children. We use it to break our children. We actually think that beatings are important to break a child. And that's a part of our culture. And we have to erase that, because we are constantly passing that shit down over and over again. And when I see parents on the thread say things like, well, they being parents, they being loving parents. You gotta love on you. This is what parenting is about. Is making them, is teaching them how to grow. That's not teaching, that's breaking somebody. That's destroying their will, not to be different, not to be who they are. That's destroying their will to live. I can't tell you how horrible it felt for me to want to die and to be miserable when I lived to see 21. I was hoping to die in high school. I was praying to God somebody would just kill me, or I would get hit by a car, or it was cancer, or anything to take me out of the hell that I was raised in and the hell that I was living in the area that I was in. I was praying for death, and it never came. And I did so much so that I didn't even have a plan for what the fuck I was gonna do at 21. I remember I cried at my 21st birthday, angry that I was still here. Because that's how hard my childhood was, because I grew up in an environment where a community of Black people saw this queer kid and said, we're gonna beat it out of him. What are your thoughts, sis?
Damn, bitch. This is heavy, bitch. This is heavy because even in the pictures from that video, even though he was being strong and still being himself, I could still feel the loneliness. Like I could just, I felt it, and I identified it in myself being that way, and like being bullied by older cousins in the family, them trying to toughen you up and be like, so bitch, I felt that. So because we're organized on social media, they were able to report the case to the authorities, and he was removed from the house, which thank God. But I think this is a complicated situation, because although he's removed from the house and he's removed from the environment, you know, we all know how traumatic foster care can be, especially foster care if you're a Black child and you're a Black and queer child. So you know, no matter where Tyler is, I'm just going to be concerned for Tyler's safety, no matter where he is. And also, something that I've been thinking about, while the parents and the unit and the community should be held accountable, and I want them to be held accountable, because in that moment, you failed your child and everybody can see. And that moment, y'all just video recording it, thinking, and I don't know why you did it. That
wanted the value signal to they wanted the value signal to other Black people. We don't tolerate this shit around here.
But the thing is, it's going to live on the internet. Thank you for listening to another episode of Box Number 512 Podcast, Grown Black Trans Women Talk.
And don't forget to become a patron on the Box Number 512 Patreon page, where we have all new exclusive content.
And also, don't forget to follow us on our social media, on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages. And also, become a subscriber on our YouTube page. Until next time, bye.